Hey, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel, and I am super excited to make this video. I also did not think I would actually be recording it this early. So today is March 18th, and I am going to be talking to you about the next author event that I'm going to, which is going to be meeting Holly Jackson. If you told me at the beginning of the year that I would be meeting Holly Jackson, I would not have believed you. She is one of the authors that I would have traveled anywhere for, but thankfully, Anderson's, my usual bookstore that I go to that I absolutely love, is having her, and I have already bought tickets. We are going to be second in the signing line. We're going to be so early. I've never been that early with a book event. If you're curious how I did that, I definitely think it was just 100% luck. Holly Jackson announced she was going on tour, and I went to the Anderson's bookstore after 3 minutes, but the link wasn't up, so I just kept refreshing. And honestly, I booked another event to go see her just in case the Anderson's event sold out really quick. But after about an hour of refreshing, I was able to get in. I bought my tickets, and my husband is going with me in place of a friend so that all of her books can get signed too. And we are second in that signing line, which is super exciting. So if you don't know who Holly Jackson is, she is the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, along with the other 2 books in the trilogy, and then this little fun novella, which I actually listened to this novella. I didn't read it physically, but I got it in my book advent calendar. So I officially own all of her books physically, because not only do I own these 4, but I also own 5 Survive, which is its own standalone for now. Maybe one day it'll get a sequel. I feel like there's definitely room to explore this world, but we have her book as well. And the reason I'm filming this on the 18th of March is because I was actually selected to receive an ARC of her book, The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I am so excited. And my friend, who my husband is going in place for to get all of her books signed, also got an ARC for this. So we are going to be reading it early, and then I'm going to take you along to meet Holly Jackson and review the whole event. I'll be able to review the book for you. I am so super excited. My first Holly Jackson book that I read was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I actually read this on honeymoon with my husband back in October of 2022. So even before I started doing book social media, I started book social media late October 2022. I read this right before, and you are following Pip, who her capstone project is to try to solve the cold case that is in their town, because she doesn't believe it went down the way that everybody in the town says so. And she ends up working with the accused murderer's brother. Now, the accused murderer is not alive. He unalived himself in the forest after presumably killing this other girl. So Pip's exploration not only goes through this book, but she becomes known as this kind of town detective. So her story continues in these 2 books. And then Killjoy actually takes place before she starts the senior capstone project in the first book. I read it already after reading the other 3 books. I feel like you can read it either way, and I feel like it would be enjoyable. So definitely YA thriller mystery, as you can see. 5 Survive is no different. You have 6 friends who are all going on a road trip in an RV together. The RV gets sabotaged, and the sniper on the outside says, "One of you has a secret that I want, and I must have that secret or somebody is not coming out of the RV alive." So it's very interesting because you actually get a fun map of the RV in here, so you can really imagine what the world is looking like, how much space they have, getting to know all the characters. I think it's really unique. And then because Anderson's is absolutely the best, there is no limit for this signing event for how many books you can get signed, at least that I saw. I'm definitely going to check before going, because I mean, the trilogy I read during my honeymoon, so it obviously means the most to me. Would love to get the other 2 signed, but it's really the trilogy that I would want signed. It has a special place in my heart, but I am bringing all 5 of these. These are all of her 5 current published works. And then of course the 6th book is also going to get signed. My husband, like I said, has a full ticket this time, so my friend's books are going to be sent to us, and he's going to get them signed for her. Super excited overall for that. Which means I get to start reading The Reappearance of Rachel Price tonight, and I am super excited. I already clicked into it. It's been a while since I've used my Kindle, I can't lie. And we also get a fun graphic of a family tree, so that's going to be really interesting. I love the additional graphics. It says in the top right corner, Annabelle Price, 8th grade, 2013-2020. So in theory, I don't really know the main narrator. Looking at this, it looks like Rachel is Annabelle's mom. Rachel is married to a man named Charlie, and she has highlighted some people as deceased and highlighted some as not sure. She highlighted her own mother is not sure. So it looks like when Annabelle was in 8th grade, we're already getting that the mother was missing. And since this is called The Reappearance of Rachel Price, I'm assuming the mother's coming back. Again, I'm not going in knowing a lot of the description. That's how I usually go into reading most books. So I'm definitely going to take you along with me to read this. My friend and I said that we're going to read about 5 to 8 chapters a day. So definitely should finish before meeting Holly Jackson, because I definitely need to do a review before, because I want to keep my NetGalley rating in good standing. So let's go read this. Okay, it is March 23rd. I actually finished this 3 days ago, but I've been sitting on this book to give my formal review, and I am really excited that I was able to get this book beforehand, because I truly feel like when we go to the Andersons events, I like to start reading the books right away. And so I would have started reading this book right away, and I don't think I would have been able to put it down. My friend and I, who were buddy reading this because we were both able to get the ARC for it, had said, okay, we can read up to 8 chapters. And we got very lucky because there's a major cliffhanger after chapter 7 in this book. And I was like, oh, I would not have been able to stop. So in terms of what I'm personally rating this book, I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5 stars, which I think is a very good rating. I know that it's not my highest rated Holly Jackson book. I did like 5 Survive a lot better, I think, overall. I did like The Reappearance of Rachel Price, especially the first half of the book. I think the first half of this book, until you get to a plot twist halfway through, was very compelling. And then the second half of the book, I definitely feel like it slowed down a bit. And then the end of the book, for me, got pretty slow when pieces started falling together, and we had a lot of talking about that. So I do love how there are clues laid out through the entirety of this book. I did guess some of the twists ahead of time, but I did not guess all of them, which I think is a fun mix between the two. I do think that it is very much YA. The only thing that also gives me pause with my 4.5 ratings is that there is like a little underlying romance vibes, and to me, that also takes away like from the book. So between like one open plot point that I didn't fully understand, and then the little bit of romance vibe that I just felt like was a little off, that this book was overall very good. And I'm super excited to meet Holly Jackson, especially because in this book, the main character's name is Annabelle and my name is Anna. And so I think that's just going to be so fun to go and meet her. So now I finished this book 2 weeks before I meet Holly Jackson. Oh my goodness. I will say that I do now know what I want my husband and I to wear, because in the book, there's a very specific shirt that is talked about multiple times. It comes up like, I don't know, I would say like around the halfway-ish point of the book, and then also at the end of the book. And I found a copy of the shirts, so I am going to purchase those for my husband and I. He has already agreed to wear them, which I am just so grateful that he goes along with all of my bookish things. And then we are going to be able to go and meet Holly Jackson now in 2 weeks. So I filmed this way earlier again than I thought that I would be. I thought I would start filming like the day I was going to meet her, but because of receiving the ARC early, now I have already finished it and I already want to know what's coming next. But I think as long as A Good Girl's Guide to Murder does come out on TV, that should hold me over for a while before her next book. So I will check back in with you to show you what our outfits are going to be for the meeting, and then we're going to meet Holly Jackson in 2 weeks. All right, it's a few days before meeting Holly Jackson. I'm so excited. My shirt that my husband and I are going to wear came in the mail, and I'm super excited about them. I feel like people who will have already read the book are going to get it. So today is April 2nd, technically meaning The Reappearance of Rachel Price comes out today. So there is a chance that there are people who were not advanced readers that will finish the book by the time that they meet Holly come Friday. And I don't think the shirt is any type of spoiler to the book, by the way. I don't know if I've said that enough. I don't think this is spoiling absolutely anything. But if you've read the book, I feel like you will understand the shirt. So this is the shirt. Pugs, not drugs. Okay? What does this reveal about the book? Absolutely nothing. If you read the description, there's not even a dog. They don't have a dog. Okay? So I am super excited. I think I might crop it, or I don't know exactly how I want to style it yet, but because I have a half day on Friday, that means I'll have a little time to style it. So I'm very excited. Has my husband seen the shirt? Yes, but not in person. He's seen it when I bought it on Amazon. So it's gonna be really fun. Because we're gonna match that and we're gonna like go out to eat and stuff. But it's still cold enough here. I think we're gonna be able to wear a jacket. Because I don't know how I feel about wearing this like outside of the bookish scene, but I don't really know. And you know what? If people look at me funny, oh well, I don't really care because I feel like it's gonna be fun. I really hope Holly gets like a laugh out of it. I think it's just gonna be like a fun little thing. And it'll be interesting to see again how my husband feels about this book event, because Anderson's is super close to my heart. So I hope it goes really, really well. But I've also never been to this specific venue. you. And I also hope we get there early enough so that we can go shopping at the bookstore so I can show you like inside of Anderson's too, because I've done a few clips but not as many, and with my husband there, hopefully he can record some stuff for me. So I'm super excited. After I finish filming some other stuff down here, because I'm doing a lot of filming down here today, I am hopefully just going to be able to grab all of the Holly Jackson books and bring them with. I did check and it still says that you can bring older books for her to sign. I'm holding out that all of them can get signed. I'm scared they're going to change the rules if they sell out or something, but I don't know. So just going to keep an eye on the email that they eventually will send. I'm assuming they're going to send the email on Thursday with like the rules, and they'll definitely send one Friday. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to show you what the outfit looks like, and I can't wait to have my interaction with Holly and to hear their conversations. I am also excited to see Geneva Rose again, and I'm curious if she'll have a line. I feel like I should have definitely read another book before going, but a book of hers comes out later this month that I'm going to go and get, so I am super excited about that. So let's get going. Today is the day that we meet Holly Jackson. I have my Pugs Not Drugs shirt on. My husband has his on, but he's not going to be on camera, and I have all of my books ready to pack. We did get an email from Anderson's today, which I'm not so surprised to receive the email, I guess. I don't know if there was just like a large influx of people that didn't know Holly Jackson was touring and they bought tickets last minute. Not 100% sure, but in the email now, they're saying that Holly will sign the new book and then 2 other books. In my nice Holly Jackson stack, you see I have 5 books. So this is a pretty easy choice though. It's not like with Victoria Aveyard. I'm just going to not have her sign Killjoy. I'm still going to bring it. Can't hurt. I'm not going to shove it in her face or anything like that. It's just, I know sometimes depending on the people or whatever, they might change the rule or something. So can't hurt to bring it, put it in my bag. And if she doesn't sign it, she doesn't sign it. And that's totally fine. Not going to say anything about it. But luckily she's going to be able to sign the other 4 because my husband has an actual ticket to this event because one of my book friends wants a signed book by Holly Jackson. So that is what we decided to get him, like a real ticket, and she paid for the ticket because she's going to be the one getting the book. So I am really happy because now he's going to be able to get 2 of these signed, and I'm probably going to give him these 2. I should maybe try to take off the sticker beforehand. Let's see if I can do that really fast. Okay, that sticker came off super easy. I doubt I'm going to have the same luck on this one. More of the sticky residue stayed on that, but that's easier to get off, I feel like, than the whole sticker, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to give him these 2 to get signed for me on my behalf. I don't think she's personalizing the other 2 books, just signing them, so that'll be really easy. And then I will get the 2 hardcovers signed. So that really works out very nicely. Very grateful that I have somebody in my life who is willing to go to book events with me. So I'm really excited for that. Our plan is to get there pretty early because we're going to get dinner downtown. I also actually want to go to like the physical Anderson's bookstore, and then we're probably just going to walk back to where we park, which is going to be right by the hall where Holly Jackson is. And I want to get back to the hall, I think around like 5:45. Luckily, it's not as cold as when I met Alex McLadies, so I feel more confident like going inside earlier. So we'll just see how that goes. Hopefully not going to rush us. The plan is we're going to start taking care of our dogs at about 2:15 p.m. And then whenever we're done taking care of our dogs, pretty much when we're going to leave. It's about an hour and a half-ish to get down there, potentially longer with the weekend starting and potentially more traffic. So want to get there with enough time. Then we're going to go to the bookstore and then a grilled cheese shop that's like right by the bookstore. So that'll be kind of our 2-in-1. And then yeah, head to meet Holly Jackson. So I'm super excited. They're not taking any posed photos. They're just doing candid photos, but I don't know. I might be able to get them to like record a little bit and like take photos while recording. I know Anderson's employees have done that before. So I'm going to get the books packed up in a little bag to go. And then we're going to go meet Holly Jackson. All right, let me show you everything I was able to get at the event with meeting Holly Jackson. So we left where we live, I felt like at a decent time. We parked right by the hall, and the hall was bigger than I expected. Apparently the capacity for the hall where the event was 1,000 people, and it was sold out. Now I will say that when I was initially looking online, it said that there were about like 500 seats on the main level and 500 seats in the balcony. So wanted to get a pretty good seat, but seeing that size definitely made me a little nervous. We decided to go to dinner, and then we went to Anderson's bookshop. And one of the things I love about Anderson's is that any author event they have ever, or where they have autographed books. So I actually purchased 2 of those. And so I purchased these 2 books for $43, aka 2 of my book buying credits. And I still have some book buying credits left for this month. And so I had some extra to spare. So this is a book that I've actually already read, Warrior Girl on Earth, but I adored it. I love Angeline Boulley. I would love to have a hardcover Firekeeper's Daughter to now go with this, but I really pulled the trigger because it is autographed by her, and it's autographed in a gold marker, which I thought was really cool. So definitely picked up this one. And then I haven't actually read Infinite Alchemist, but I'm interested in it. I like Case and Callender's writing, so I definitely wanted to give it a try. And again, it was autographed, and so I figured that would just be like a fun little keepsake for me to have. I feel like I definitely need to have a shelf somewhere for autographed books at some point. And then we get to the Holly Jackson event. I was like rushing my husband, I will admit. I don't think I was being the nicest person trying to rush my husband to get back in line. And we got to the line at about 5:50 something, right? And it was already pretty long, but I was like, okay, we'll still probably have a good seat. We were only 5 minutes early to when they said doors were gonna open. Well, spoiler alert, doors didn't open for like another 20-30 minutes. And it was colder than I expected because of the wind, but it was okay. We had them scan our tickets. We got the physical books, which was really exciting. And then we found our seats. I feel like our seats were in a really good spot, so I was very, very happy about that. And nobody ended up sitting in like a one seat in front of us, which was very nice. So we had a very clear view of the entire conversation. I saw some girls have these posters, and so my husband was kind enough to go and get me and my friend one that I am going to mail her. So I thought this was really cool. And then we get into the actual conversation with Holly Jackson and Geneva Rose. I didn't realize how funny Holly Jackson was, I guess, just because of the manner of her books, but I did laugh a lot. I feel like she was very cheeky, as she would say, because she's from the UK, and I enjoyed their conversation. It was clear, at least, that they didn't like really know each other as much as the Victoria Aveyard conversation, and that's something that my husband pointed out. So after about an hour of Geneva's questions, the back and forth, the Q&A in the audience, then it's time to sign. And the social media person at Anderson's asked how many of you had been to an event before, and there wasn't as many hands up as I would have liked. And that's when I knew that there might be a little bit of confusion for people, because I did hear the girl sitting next to us say, all right, mom, now we have to sprint. And I was like, sprint to the signing line? No, there's like, I didn't say this to her, but obviously there was a number order, and they make it very clear in the email, I feel like, but could be wrong there. Maybe they didn't check the email. There were people who I saw bring like 6 Holly Jackson books all by themselves. So again, I don't know if they saw the email, but the social media person did say like, hey, you know, if you are numbers 1 through 30, check your ticket and then you can line up over here. Now again, we were number 2, so I was like, oh, okay, like we don't have to rush too far because they'll eventually check tickets, get us all in line number order. They didn't do that, which was fine because we were still in the very first group called. But where there was a sneaking suspicion that people were just joining the line when they shouldn't have been was when the social media person was like, really, all of you for 1 through 30, if you are with a friend, you're not supposed to go with the earlier number, you're supposed to stay with your friend with the later number. And then of course nobody left the line, nobody checked our tickets, and so I was like, okay, well at least we were honest and in the first group, because if anybody checked our ticket, they would have seen the number 2 spot, which would have kept us in line, which was very good. And then they also opened up the line again to buy more books, and they also opened up a signing line for Geneva Rose, which made me super happy. And I heard from an Anderson employee that they actually sold out of all of Geneva's books that they had brought with, so very happy for her. I am meeting Geneva Rose again in May, so I definitely want to support her. She's kind of a local author, not only to Illinois but to Wisconsin, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I was very happy for that. However, where they had organized the lines, there was some overlap with the signing line and people just got like a little confused. So it was a little messier than I'm used to in terms of like how the signing goes and everything like that. But I still feel like overall, you know, at the end of the day, we got the book signed. That's all that matters. We got out of there pretty quick. Very happy about that because there were like over 500 line numbers is what the social media person said. Whew. So we got out very early. They did not take any like stage photos with us and Holly. It was just conversations. And I was able to tell Holly that I was an ARC reader for the book. And I told her how much I really like 5 Survive and how her books have meant so much for me. And my husband was able to get again 2 more books signed for me. And it was really funny because obviously we had her sign it in my friend's name and my husband does not have my friend's name. And she was jokingly like, show me some ID. And she told us that one time somebody said that their name was Holly Jackson and Holly did actually ask for ID and they had the same name. So I thought that was a really funny story. I did not get Killjoy signed. There were so many people. I'm still glad I brought it just to leave in my bag. But now these are all the books that are officially signed by Holly Jackson with one personalized to me, which is Here in the Flesh, The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I am so happy to be near a bookstore with such great events. I'm I'm so grateful to have this in my hand. I'm super happy with the interaction that I had with Holly. And the Anderson bookstore folks are starting to recognize me. So when you go to a book event, typically you want this page signed by the artist, wherever the title is with their name. And so what I did beforehand is, instead of just handing them the book like this, I knew where to flap the page, put my hardcover flap over it, and then handed them this book. And once I handed the employee that book, she kind of looked up at me. She's like, oh, I recognize you. And I'm like, ooh, we're getting to that point. And then my recommendation is, if you're going with a paperback book to get signed by an artist, you should have like a little scrap of paper that you can put by where they're going to sign it, because then it was super easy for Holly to flip and sign it. I'm sure her hand is so tired. I feel like she's already gone on so many tour stops, so I'm glad that one of ours was a little bit earlier in her week. And that's my wrap up of the Holly Jackson event. I overall think it was really good. I'm gonna definitely keep going to more Anderson's events, and Holly gave us like nothing in terms of what she's writing next, so we'll just have to keep our eyes out there, but I'm super excited for the TV show. It comes out in the UK in July, but in America at an unknown date, so hopefully we're gonna get more information on that soon. But yeah, I really love making videos about these author events, and hopefully these give you some nice tips and tricks for going to them. So definitely going to go to more throughout the year, and I am super excited to see what other authors I am very fortunate enough to meet this year.